The Aerobie Epic. Wait, no. The Trash Panda Extraterrestrial? This disc just came out of nowhere. They both have this very unique epicyclic design, which claims to fly insanely far on overhands. But perhaps the Extraterrestrial is different in other unique and mysterious ways. How does it tomahawk? What does epicyclic actually mean? An extraterrestrial? What colors does it understable? How does it compare to a regular Does it fly differently depending on where you hold it? I need to know more. So I confronted the guy who's releasing this mysterious disc.
Jesse, how does ET fly?
Well, it's kind of like...
Well, that told me nothing.
Scared by that odd interaction, I took my ET box and went back to the drawing board. I need answers about this weird disc. The ET is similar to the Epic. I'm a man that can be defined by one word. Epic. My first ever YouTube video is about the Epic. In that video, I use a game plan to test the Epic. That's it. It all comes back to the Epic. I need a game plan to test the Extraterrestrial just like I tested the Epic. So here it is, our game plan to experiment on the ET. Firstly, we're gonna attempt to birdie with the ET and see if anything weird happens. Secondly, we're gonna tomahawk it and test its epicyclic design. Lastly, we're gonna try to compare it to some other discs. And during all of the experiments, trying to answer my biggest question about the ET. Is there something about this disc that might just be revolutionary? We're out here at Fritz Park this morning. We're gonna see how many holes it takes to birdie with the ET. I'm gonna start with a backhand, holding it on the thin side. Oh, that was pretty close to acing. Doing this is essentially paying homage to the first video I ever made with the Epic, because in that video, I try to see how many holes it takes to birdie with the Epic. And hopefully you've already picked up on this. Some people probably have. But the Epic and the ET are very similar in their epicyclic design. The ET just has a thinner rim than the Epic. And the Epic does some really weird stuff. That's why I'm comparing them so much. All right, we'll throw the other ones just for fun. That's in the basket. Also, the official name of this disc is actually the Extraterrestrial 2. I'm just gonna call it the ET. And I have 4 ETs, that's why I have the ET 1 through 4. Moving on. My hypothesis is if you hold it on the thin side or the thick side, it'll fly completely different, which would literally be insane. I'm just a little bit worried that there might not be consistency in how it flies based off of that. All right, didn't leave myself the easiest putt in the world. That was weird. You saw the backhand on the thin side. This is the forehand on the thick side. Dude, that flies literally so crazy. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but when it spins, it literally is like, it's like a UFO or ET or whatever. That's insane. Thin side forehand. Oh no, the ET does weird stuff. Ever since that putt on the hole 1, there's been some weird stuff happening. And I thought I pressed record on my camera on this hole, but apparently I didn't. Luckily my wife was recording, and this is what happened. That's it. Oh my gosh! Dude, that's so sad. That would have been the first ETA. So we're gonna try again since it wasn't recording on my main camera. Dang it, that's in the rough. We didn't birdie this hole or ace it. Dang. So far from what you've seen, it flies kind of stable, but from what I've found throwing it before this video, there were a few times that it sometimes turned and burned. And I think that partially has to do with where you hold it when you throw it. 4! That was bad. So as you can see, it's definitely got a little bit of turn to it, especially when you torque into it, regardless of where you hold it. In my opinion, it has finish, but it also has turn. Womp womp. Honestly, not birdieing was getting pretty sad. This was a nice shot,
Literally phased through that tree. ET.
but I still didn't get the birdie.
This next hole is terrifying with the ET because these are unreleased and I could easily lose it right here. And no one's supposed to know about it yet.
It's called an extraterrestrial. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, have you been throwing it?
Yeah. It's
Out
weird.
here today?
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
always thrown.
That's what I've thrown all. This is
Really?
the,
This
that's
is
what the
your
video.
driver?
That's what I'm making a video about. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's,
Weird disc, huh?
That's pretty remarkable, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Dave, he was a legend. And to make a long story short on this scary hole 6, here's my drive.
Go in. Go in. Almost aced.
And I missed my putt for the birdie.
No birdie yet.
I was starting to worry that this just might be doing some weird stuff, especially after that putt on hole 1. But that thought's only becoming more justified because I'm noticing something very unique about this disc. Something revolutionary, maybe?
Unfortunately, no birdie yet with this guy. Hopefully I birdie soon. I think you've seen enough of this flight. Skip. Hopefully nothing weird happens on this putt.
Nothing weird, just me being bad.
Uh-oh. This ET literally just disappeared. I have no clue where it went.
And yeah, we never found it.
Oh my gosh. That might be it. It's not gonna...
At this point, I just want a birdie and move on so bad.
All right, if I don't birdie this hole, I don't know what hole I'll birdie. And it's kind of an ace run as well. Forehand, thin side. Skip in. The birdie you've all been waiting for. This one better not have any weird things happen. Birdie. And to pay homage to the Epic video, Raptor Legs Ricky. Raptor Legs Ricky. There we go. On to stage 2. All right, next segment of the ET game plan is to tomahawk it. And you might be wondering, Jay Millie, why the heck are you gonna tomahawk it? Well, because that's what the Aerobie Epic is known for.
Due to the Epic's very exaggerated rim, as well as the fact that you can tune it, it flies very uniquely on an overhead.
Right! 600-foot hole, no big deal. But I'm not a rapper. I'm not a rapper. Not a rapper. Oh, man.
You can't really see it in that video, but that shot went 600 feet. And the Epic acted something like this mid-flight, flipping all the way over and just gliding forever.
So our goal in this test is to see if the ET flies anything like the Epic on a tomahawk due to its epicyclic design. And to help me with this, I have
Yeah. So he's a college baseball player. What was your highest recorded velocity in baseball?
87 off the mound.
Yeah, 87 miles per hour. I'm sure he could throw a tomahawk pretty good.
Was pretty good at throwing crow hops, stuff like that.
Okay, who cares? Whatever.
All right, just so you have a comparison, we're gonna throw the Epic first and try to get its full flight capabilities and distance capabilities for comparison.
Here's my attempt.
Yeah, that was bad.
And here's Anderson's very first throw ever with the Aerobie Epic.
Yep, that is so good. That is so good.
That went far.
That went so far. That is exactly what you want out of that. Official distance on that is 412.
And to put that in perspective, I threw the Epic like a million times in my very first video, and
My best recorded shot with this style is 406 feet, I believe, from my other video.
so yeah, Anderson can rip, and I got a little distracted by that.
We want to see a 500-foot Aerobie Epic shot. Ah, too low. Nope, never mind. Oh, no, it's flipping. Nope. Well, no.
For context, in the Aerobie Epic video, my goal was to tomahawk it 500 feet.
I'm hoping to break the 500 mark.
I didn't even come close. So, in this moment, I'm living vicariously through Anderson.
Come on. Ooh, you could see. Well, because you tuned it up.
I know,
We need
but
to find.
It went the other way, so it didn't like push straight.
We need to find the in between of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Last attempt to try to hit 500. Tuning it a little down to get a little bit more understable. J Millie believes. That's it. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be close.
456 on a Tomahawk with the Epic. Anderson can absolutely rip, as you can see.
500-foot goal, not met. I will get it one day though. But for now,
We're gonna see if we can get that to happen with the ET.
Only one way to find out.
Predictions?
It's gonna be tough with how the rim's shaped. I think there's a possibility, but it just depends on how malleable it is.
and unfortunately, as suspected, the ET flies just like a normal disc does on a Tomahawk.
Yeah, that's just a regular Tomahawk flight.
We even tried tuning and bending it, but that still didn't help.
Oh, that was bad.
One of the ETs disappeared too. Classic. However, we did have a realization.
I think this is a really good Tomahawk disc because it feels better on a Tomahawk, especially when you hold it in that small part of the disc, than a regular disc ever could. It doesn't fly different, but it feels better in the hand. So.
It does fly different.
It does?
It flies different than this.
It doesn't fly different than a regular disc.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were meaning the Epic.
No.
I was like, what do you mean?
It flies the same as a regular disc. It flies different than the Epic.
Yes.
There's the short story long. Everyone spam thank you Anderson down in the comments. All right, the final part of the game plan. We've seen that the ET can birdie. We've tried it on Tomahawk, it doesn't work. Lastly, we're gonna compare it to a few other discs because this disc is in a category of its own.
And I think what I found is pretty wild. From my many throws with it over the last week or two, I found that depending on where you hold it, the flight changes just a little bit. So the first comparison is a 9-speed Undertaker with a little bit of flip.
When you hold it on the thinner side of the disc, it seems like it flies a little bit more flippy and almost like a 9-speed or a 7-speed because the speed is lower. So let's see how they fly in comparison. Kind of just turns and holds that line.
Almost identical flight. And that was me holding it on the thin side of the rim.
Wait till I throw it on the thick side though. The thing about the thicker side of the rim, when you throw it, I think it flies way more stable than it does on the thin side of the rim. And I think that's partially because it takes a lot more to throw the speed of the disc when you're throwing from the thicker side. So the comparison is something with a little bit of flip, a little bit of turn, but still has a decent bit of finish at the end.
Like an Octane or a beat-in Wraith.
Let me show you real quick. So yeah, I think that it's just a hair more stable when you throw it holding the thicker side. And that's like really interesting. Honestly, almost revolutionary. And I think part of the reason that it flies more stable when thrown in a different area is because the parting line almost moves if you follow the edge of the disc. So I'd be interested to see that almost exaggerated, to see if that would affect the in-flight capability if you throw it on a different part of the disc. Crazy.
This disc is just a ton of fun. It's definitely a disc you pull out and show your homies, and they're a little bit shocked. But I will say, I feel like the flight was just a little bit inconsistent. I'm not entirely sure how it'll fly every time I throw it.
Go in. Oh my gosh.
But I'm sure that would come with more reps and more throws with the ET because that's literally how it works with any disc you try to throw.
It's a good disc. My final thoughts are the ET is a disc in a category of its own that's separate than the Epic. It is almost like a hybrid disc in between an Epic and a regular disc that has a lot of unique things about it and is really fun to throw.
Also, don't be surprised if it disappears on you or does something super weird.
Like and subscribe perhaps? That's the end of my video.